to muscle a little bit.
All right.
One up on your key, kill switch, start back, turn signals right, left, mash on cancel.
Alrighty, everybody. This is a Hammer 8-ball fat tire muscle. There's the information there. 14.5, huh? Make it darker. Okay, I like the fairing on it. This is the 8-ball. I wanted to ride the cross country, but it's kind of first come, first serve here, and you don't get a whole lot of time. Very smooth sounding engine. It feels like I can take the turns a little sharper. It's a very streamlined position bike. It feels very narrow. Doesn't have that wide sensation to it. However, the guy did say, you know, be careful because it's got that big fat back tire, so you got to kind of fight it in the turns at speed, I guess. But we'll see, man. You know, so far I'm feeling like this bike's pretty good. So if you're just tuning in, this is XXXDEADHEAD. I'm doing a demo ride here at the 2013 Progressive International Motorcycle Show. And right now I'm riding with Victory, with the Victory crew. Harley let me go out on my own, which is really cool. But with everybody else, it seems like they want to kind of just take you on their own little ride. All right, so the bike was deceptively whirly. It had that whirl sound with the engine, you know, from the get-go. And you know, up to maybe like 10 miles an hour. But once I was able to open it up, man, this bike gets throaty and it wants to play. I'm very excited about this bike now. That my excitement level just went from like, you know, this is cool, to hell yeah, man, I'm ready to freaking party with this thing. I like it. I like it so far. What I'm feeling feels good. It feels very responsive. It feels nimble so far for a cruiser. It's got that throaty play. It seems like fun. Has a nice, I love the look to it. I love the details that they have on it. I'm assuming this is not all stock, but maybe it is. Very nice. I love that the speedometer and everything is right up there, super easy to read. Doesn't look like it has a tachometer, but it might have one built in somewhere in the functionality of it all. Little digital readout maybe. You know, honestly, I kind of felt like a Victory would be all right. It'd be like a meh bike. I kind of felt like Indian would be the one bike I'd walk away as, like, you know, the unsung hero, I guess, of the entire day. But in all reality, this bike doesn't quite have me as excited as the Breakout yet, but it does seem to want to get there pretty quick once I get past first and second gear. Once I roll on the throttle, this bike really does want to go out and play, and I like that about a cruiser. The horn, obviously, it's a weird layout for me. That's normally where my turn signal, my turn signal on the Harley's at. This will be a fun bike up in the twisties for a cruiser. Whoop. Gotta get that used to that blinker. So as far as the quarter fairing goes, I don't feel a whole lot of pressure on my chest, but I definitely feel the pressure coming up and hitting my camera. So there's probably going to be a lot of wind noise with this, and for that I apologize. This bike feels great. The seat feels, the stock seat, or at least what came with this bike, does feel just a tad bit stiff. It does have a little bit of a lip there to kind of give you a little bit more security, I guess, or a little bit of a catch, which is nice. The positioning for the pegs, it's actually, I would say it's kind of in between mid-mounted and forward-mounted controls. And I honestly think that this is probably my favorite, like the best foot peg placement I've ever felt on a motorcycle, on a cruiser type style bike. So for that, I definitely give this thing some praise. It feels great. It's a good bike. I feel like it has more control than the Breakout did. As far as turning and lean angles and all that stuff. The Breakout, what the Breakout really had as a strength was that grunt, whereas this bike just seems very versatile. This might be the best all-around bike I've ridden so far. today, and I'm actually pretty damn impressed. And for the price, I think you're getting a pretty good bike. I don't know how big this tank is, but I would say it's probably like about a 5-gallon tank, which means that this bike has some legs on it for a long journey. First thing I would probably change out on this bike, I actually honestly wouldn't change out much. I think other than going with maybe some slip-on pipes, and it definitely needs a new seat. That'd be the first thing I would change out on this bike, and I would invest some pretty good money into it. I like that my knees can kind of grab hold of this tank. It gives you it's a very confidence-inspiring bike, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it so far at this point. If I was to compare it against all the other bikes that I've ridden today, one of them close to $20,000, the other one that was for the Indian, the vintage. The Breakout with all the modifications came out to about $30,000, $28,000. And this bike at $14,500, it's a no-brainer. I would go with this bike for sure. So for that, I give it definitely a thumbs up. However, I would definitely recommend, there's a strong need, I would say, to get to put about $1,000 into the seat to really make this bike comfortable. It seems to have all the power there. However, I don't know how well it would do 2-up. I know it can do it. I know it can handle it, but if it can handle it in comfort and ease like this cross country in front of me, I don't know. I think for longer touring the cross country, then if this is a great bike, I would imagine the cross country is a fantastic bike as well. So yeah, I'm highly impressed with this. This is my first victory ride, and so far, me gusta la victory. Me gusta te victory. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, fun bike. I really want to open it up, but unfortunately, I'm not able to. And that was what's nice about the Breakout is, like I said, that bike just tempts you every step of the way. I don't feel the temptation with this bike, but I feel a yearning to go out and cause mischief. It's just not a strong temptation, if that makes any sense. It's just a slight tug towards the evil grin of life. Flickability wise, though, I think that this bike is pretty fantastic so far from what I'm feeling. It really does handle quite well, and I really do want to take it up into the twisties some more. I want to open this bike up, guys. Come on, move. Oh yeah, it's got a lot of room to get up and go. Definitely got its torque and horsepower going. This is a good bike for the price, so you just can't really go wrong. However, I think that the best part of having a cruiser is having something that has some bags on it, has some comfort for your passengers. Something that just wants you to go cross country, and this bike doesn't really feel like it's embraced any one thing, as far as, is it a hot rod? Is it a mountain twisty bike? Is it just, is it good for the long road trips? It doesn't really seem to, at least for me, it doesn't seem to speak out any one thing. However, it does seem like a great bike to just take out, on joyride with, and like any other bike, really. Rev limiter. So yeah, the wind buffeting is a bit much. It's a bit gnarly, but it's not too bad. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this bike. It just feels good. It rides good, and I feel pretty stable with it. The grips feel really good that come with this bike. The stance is very comfortable. I have a little bit of bend. I can kind of tuck in, which is nice. It feels like a perfect handlebar position for this particular bike. And yeah, I don't think I would change much with this bike. I think if I was to change anything, like I said before, I'd just go for the seat and the exhaust, and then some type of baggage system, and maybe a rear cowl or sissy bar for my passenger. Yeah, it has the rumble stock. I mean, the stock exhaust, I can hear it, and it has a good sound to it from what I can tell. Yeah, I think overall, if you are looking at the Hammer 8-ball, I think you'll be very happy with the purchase. If you love the styling, which I honestly, I think I do really like the styling. There's a little bit of plastic stuff. I'm not a huge fan of the plasticky type of look, and so for that I give it a few knocks against it. I wish it had a little bit more of just that raw edge to it, but it's pretty close. It has, I mean, Victories, at least in my mind, are very good at kind of holding on to that vintage classic diner type style, yet still being contemporary and modern with their shaping and design. It's pretty awesome in that respect, in my opinion. I would feel very confident owning this bike as a beginning rider. However, there is quite a bit of power available there, so for those of you that are a little worried about having too much power right off the bat, you know, well, maybe I take that back. At the lower end, I mean, it doesn't right off the bat, like it's in the, when you're at the lower RPMs, it doesn't just scream torque, like just bloody torque and just roll that throttle and it flies. It's got some movement to it. It's when you really start to crack it open that torque kicks in. And so for that, I think it actually might be a fantastic choice if you're a first-time owner and you feel confident about the bike. Make sure you sit on it a bit and feel comfortable with the weight of it. But yeah, I honestly, you know, if I'm walking back into being a first-time motorcycle owner, I would not be at all uncomfortable with this bike myself. And so yeah, great bike, highly recommend it. Overall, I would give it a pretty good score. I would say it's probably, as far as the Cruiser series goes, it's earned its place in like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Somewhere in that neighborhood, like maybe just right in the middle. I feel like it's very comfortable as far as, you know, when I hit bumps, I feel like the shocks, the suspension carries the bumps and the friction pretty well. Again, the seat is just a little stiff for my tastes, and I think that this bike would, you know, not be the best right out the gate, right, with stock parts for long distance traveling. The seat needs attention in that sense, but most bikes do. So yeah, that's another thing. The mirrors actually work fantastically. Ever since I got my iron, I like to have mirrors flipped down. This kind of looks dorky in my eyes, but that's just my opinion. I mean, just for my own bike, I kind of like the styling of having the mirrors flipped under. I don't think that's really possible with this bike, the way it's laid out. So you might need to put, you know, some mirrors on the bottom, on the ends of the throttle. But you know what? I'd probably just leave the mirrors like they are. Even if it is something that I'm not style-wise totally sold on. Does this have ABS brakes? It does?
This one does not.
No. Okay.
It's got what I was on. Only our baggers and our touring bikes
have ABS. Does this have it as an option?
No.
No. Okay, so it's all right. It feels good though. I mean, it brakes good. So yeah, this is the Victory 8-ball, the Victory Hammer 8-ball. I love the fairing setup on there. That's kind of cool. 6-speed, 14.5, blacked out. Love the rear cowl setup. Very nice. Love the styling of the lighting. Nice big fat black back. Nice fat back tire. Very cool. Very functional mirrors. Looks like a good sized tank. Has a good stylized look to it. So yeah, ultimately I'm pretty impressed. Thought it was a fun bike. I think if I was to pick the one I like the most, I love this look. This is killer. The jackpot. Yeah, jackpot. Yep, killer. A highball. I'm assuming this is the cross country here. That looks like a fun bike. Not so much a fan of the big cowl system on the back. I do like the exhaust system. Looks tight. I think for these bigger guys, this is probably more of something I'd be in the market for long distance touring. And I really like this one. This one's beautiful. Oh, nice. Very cool, sleek, simple, awesome.